Go now to somebody who was there. I believe we have an eyewitness on the phone on Bourbon Street when this happened. Jimmy Cothran. Jimmy, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you doing?
Blessed, but I've been better.
I bet. Can you walk us through where you were this morning and describe what you saw?
We were kind of finishing out the night coming from Bourbon towards Canal, and there was a lot of commotion at the end. So we ducked off into a nightclub for a moment to let all that settle, what we thought was settling. And then within a couple of minutes of walking in, a group of frantic females run inside, push past security, and hide under tables. And so when we seen that, we live here, and unfortunately, our first thoughts were somebody shooting or chasing them. So we knew the club we were at, we ran upstairs. We knew they had a balcony. Whenever we got to the balcony, it is not what we expected. It was the beginning of the mass casualties. Dead right in front of us was someone's mother, twisted, obviously deceased. We counted 8 just from a couple of seconds of standing there, 8 bodies. 2 looked to be at least alive. I wouldn't say survivable, but alive. And the other 4 were clearly, very clearly, graphically deceased.
That is
and
a gut punch to hear.
No one was around. Like after they were mowed over, not knowing anything, like no one was helping these people. They wouldn't let us out. I have training personally, and they just immediately locked us in there. And we could see some people did eventually go and start attending to the bodies. One man, deceased, had tire tracks across his back. And then when someone turned him over, he had tire tracks across his stomach, and he was clearly crushed. The mother that was in front of us, she was just horribly disfigured. A little girl that we had seen dancing as we were walking up the street was as flat as a pillow. I mean, it just kept going. Like every eye shot, body.
It's difficult to hear. I'm sure it was far worse to witness and
it was unbelievable. It was only could be referenced to a movie.
Did you see the pickup truck, Jimmy? Did you hear the gunshots that were apparently fired after this happened, or had you been in the nightclub at the time that this happened?
The gunshots is what we thought was the commotion up the street, but it was so loud where we were kind of like in the thick of it. And then the truck, we heard the truck barrel by as more people piled in. And as soon as we got up to the balcony, he had already advanced 8 to 10 blocks. And that's what I was trying to tell the other people is there were no barricades. Like this barricade stuff they're saying is not true.
Were there any barricades at any part of Bourbon Street when you came into the French Quarter?
Yes, we have tank barricades, like the metal, hydraulic raising, unrammable barricades, because this has happened so many times. When we got there, me and my friend were surprised that they hadn't put these up, because usually you can walk safely in the middle of Bourbon once you hit Bourbon. They weren't up. So you still kind of had to watch your back for cars, but this is at 8 p.m. So now we're at 3:10 a.m. They never put the barricades up. This man was able to hit 70 miles an hour for a clean 8 to 10 blocks down Bourbon. And we had barricades.
You say 8 to 10 blocks,
absolutely.
Jimmy, during the time when you were in the club. How long did it take him to go, let's say, those 8 blocks, would you say? How many seconds?
A minute, 2 minutes tops. He was out of sight. Police were on foot when we got to the balcony with M16s hustling down the street. They didn't even have time to get in their vehicles yet and chase him. They were on foot chasing him. He was long gone. And the only thing that stopped him is when he wrecked out. And that was clean. Yeah. And y'all will figure out the coverage of where the carnage started and where he wrecked out, and that'll show you exactly how far he got, and that there were no barricades on Bourbon up.
When you walked out of that club, Jimmy, go ahead, please.
They had the flimsy triangle-style orange and white barricade. That's what they had.
I think you're referencing maybe what we're looking at here on screen, some of those barricades, similar to those perhaps. Jimmy, this is a city.
Nothing.
Yeah, that it has been through agony. It has been through hell this morning. When you walked out of that club, did you go home? Where are you now? What did you see? And how were people doing around you that were witnessing?
Well, I mean, I'm at home now, but we were held prisoner with those sights and carnage and memory inside that club for over an hour and a half with no one telling us anything, which I understand you got to cordon off the crime scene. But even when they let us out, they never told us anything while we were in there. Like, a lot of us knew what happened, but some didn't. But even when they came in and told us to leave, they just started grabbing us. The police just started grabbing us by our clothes, throwing us out. And if you've seen my Facebook video, you can hear them in the background just throwing us, literally physically grabbing hold of us and yanking us out the door. Doesn't matter who we were with, because my buddy that went with me, I think he went to the restroom. So when they said get out, they didn't care who you were waiting on. They wanted you out now. And if you didn't, they told you were resisting. They yanked us out. So me and him got separated. They put their hands on him, yanked him out because he's looking for me. And just the way they treated us after that. And the bodies are still there. They're just covered up with pink sheets. And you can see that in the video. So
Jimmy
they
Cothran.
walk us out past all these bodies again, treat us like crap, and say, have a nice night.
Unimaginable horror in New Orleans this morning. Jimmy Cothran, we are so grateful to you for sharing what you saw, for helping to fill in some of the details, some of the questions that so many people around the country have as they are watching the aftermath of this unfold. A lot of people are thinking about you and your city. Thank you very much for being with us this morning.